Good morning, students. So, today we'll move on with the last module of our syllabus, that is iOS and Windows 7. So, here we will be seeing what it takes to create a mobile application on iOS platform as well as Windows 7. Okay, so starting part is just the theory related part. That is the first topic. What we are going to see here is iPhone craze. So under this, we are just telling a brief introduction about iPhone. So the first iPhone was revealed at the Mac World Conference in the early January 2007, and later it was released in June of that particular year. So initially, what happened is third-party native applications were not allowed in this. So Apple executives urged that developers could build web application that would behave like native iPhone apps. So developers were set aback, and in October 2007, Apple announced an SDK that allowed the developers to create native iPhone applications. So many argue that Apple's decision to allow developers to create native application was based on the fact that Android platform was going to be hitting the market soon. So that was what was told, and it was extremely open and flexible platform in which developers could do things that would not be that could not within the iOS. The decision to allow native apps within iOS created a new business model for developers, wherein small projects after work of hours together have turned into full fledged companies right now. As of February 2007, so that is the data that is given to you in your textbook. So, as of February 2012, Apple App Store contained more than 7,25,700 applications, which have been collectively downloaded more than 2.5 billion times. So that's the data that is given as of February 2012. Okay. So since June 2007, iPhones have helped drive the mobile boom. Apple converted a generation of iPod users to iPhone users with simple and effective user interfaces, and made its product to what it is right now. So there are many people who prefer going in for iPhone. Obviously, your money matter is there, but still, some people are having a craze for iPhone, right? So because they think or it is iPhone has made its product a cool one. So in May 2010, as of May 2010, that is data given to you, that is May 2010, 59% of all mobile web data consumption in the US came from iPhone. So that's the data as per the United States. The iPhone has become a game changer. So here, what we are saying, iPhone can be used as a personal organizer. It can be used as a gaming platform. It can be used as a web browser also, and a phone all in one small packages. So iPhone has become iPhone here. Since we're speaking about iPhone, we'll just concentrate on this. So iPhone has become like a must in a day-to-day life for, right? So I'm not telling only iPhone, but here since we're speaking about iPhone, so the variety of purposes using this, that is you can use as a personal organizer also, from a business person, that will be helpful. Gaming platform wherein user students also or younger generation they are using, and a web browser as well as and phone all in one small packages. So here we are telling the wide variety of usage of iPhone. Okay, so just the basic introduction part of iPhone. Next we'll come to the next topic, that is Apple in its beauty. So when Steve Jobs introduced the world to the iPhone, he said that it's a revolutionary product that could change everything with having a brand new multi-touch. So when it was initially developed, okay, that is the brand new multi-touch interface. In that time, that was a breakthrough, and had a breathtaking mouse interface that was introduced in the year 1960. So that time, this was the initial thing that was there, that is multi-touch interface as well as the mouse interface. Okay. At the time of its release, the uniqueness of this iPhone went far beyond its web browser and had tightly integrated web functionality. It was six core ideas that changed the software application and the websites. Although there were smartphones on the market at the time of release of the iPhone, it was not that is iPhone until iPhone was released. The smartphone manufacturers, like when the iPhone was released, the smartphone manufacturers realized the importance of all the features that combined to provide a great mobile development platform. So what are those features that we are going to see here? Okay, so the first feature what we are going to see here is always on the internet. Yes, that is a true, right? Now current situation, if you're saying, that is true, that is phones. There was a time wherein when we want the internet, we used to connect the mobile data, and immediately after that we used to turn off the mobile data. But now, since the Jio has come into market, the availability of mobile data, like it is, we keep it on and the entire day it is kept on. We are not worried about how much of data, but that was not the case few years back, wherein every MB was a count there. So that was situation. So here, what are we going to say here is we are going to say the features which the smartphone manufacturers combine together to provide a great mobile development platform. So the first one what we are going to see here is always on the internet. So a platform that had internet access whenever cell phone coverage is there, that was required. um, so whenever cell phone coverage was there, the internet was available. That is the main thing. So without this functionality, applications such as so here they're speaking about an application called as Foursquare. So which is an app that allows you to check in to a location, or when you are in a particular location, which are now suppose which are the nearby restaurants. So that is going to tell. So such kind of apps are very helpful to us because of this feature, wherein always on the internet. So whenever you come to a particular area, you will be having the internet access, like that you can say. Okay. So this core concept is easy for developers to develop. The most difficult part is coming up with an application idea. So developing is easy, but what and all you require. So when you're going to a particular area, what the user will want to access, or what information he wants to get. Usually, one of the thing is we search for any nearby restaurant. So you go to particular area and just check out in your phone any nearby restaurant or any hospitals nearby. So immediately you're going to get all the information. So that is what the feature we are telling here, that is always on the internet. Okay. And the next feature is location aware. The iPhone also introduced a platform that could detect where you were based on your location. So there were some privacy concern, but this feature has been well received in the developer as well as the user community. Whether it is a mapping application or application that lets you tag photos with your location, this feature has opened a wide opportunity for the developers to develop location based application that did not have to run on any standalone GPS. So that is your location aware. So which could detect where we are based on your location. Okay. Next one comes the orientation aware. So usually when you're playing any game, usually we use this. If you're playing a car racing or something, you're just tilting your phone to left side and right side, and accordingly the car also moves either in the left direction or in the right direction. That is what we are speaking about, orientation aware. So previously we just said about location awareness. So along with that, iPhone offered a platform that could detect where in space the device existed. So the in this we had the app, or we have the app that the apps that made this feature. One example they are giving, that is about Urban Spoon. So that is an app which made use of this particular feature, that is orientation aware. So this Urban Spoon displays a random restaurants in your area based on a criteria that you set. Okay, so that is about the application, what they're saying, wherein any random restaurants that are there in your area. So suppose now if you are saying in Zomato only, you are telling I want only veg. So that is a criteria what you're setting. So when you're setting that criteria, automatically which are the restaurants which are providing only veg, or which are providing veg food, all those details will be displayed, right? So that is what here Urban Spoon displays a random restaurant in your area based on the criteria that you set. If you do not like that restaurant that is that it picks, then you can just shake the phone and it will choose the other one. So this is a new type of user interface feature that makes interface easier to use. So that is what they're saying in Urban Spoon. What happens? So it is going to display the random restaurants based on your criteria. If the restaurants what it is showing you are not happy with that, then you can just shake your phone. So automatically other choice will be displayed. Other than that, what is the other example that is given is about orientation aware. That is about mobile gaming industry. So mobile gaming industry has also used this feature. That's what I said, usually during car racing or something, such kind of game. You tilt the phone towards the left side, the car will move towards the left. If tilt to the right side, then car will turn to the right. That is like steering wheel. So that is what we are saying about the feature, that is orientation aware. Next one is innovative input. iPhone also represented a platform that could detect multiple fingers as input, as well as wide range of gestures such as swipe up, swipe down, then your tapping or your double tap, such kind of gestures. Okay, so all this we are saying in the beginning, all this, but right now even in Android also we have all this, but here we are just speaking about the iPhone or the Apple. Okay, so that is about the innovative input, wherein you're speaking about the gestures. Okay, multiple finger input. So with this new input type, new interface patterns emerge, helping make the small screen of the mobile device easier for the user to deal with. The next feature what they're speaking about is high quality and scalable screen. A huge selling point for the iPhone is its high resolution, right? So the clarity, the photo clarity, or any video that is done through iPhone, they say it is of high resolution. So that is the highlight for the iPhone, that is its high resolution screen, on which you can which the movies and photos can be viewed with the best picture quality. Okay, so that was the next feature of your iPhone. The last feature which the software that is Android, sorry, which the of mobile manufacturers made use, that is of power consciousness. Because the iPhone runs on battery, uh, As a developer, we need to watch the power consumption of our application. So in your application, if you have lot of loops in your code, in such cases it causes the CPU to work hard. So when the CPU is working hard, it means more power is taken there, causing our application to drain the device's battery. So which could result in negative comments from the user. Okay, so that thing we have to keep in mind if you're, that is, as a developer, when you're developing an application, you should keep this in mind. Too many loops in your code, CPU is going to work hard. CPU is going to work hard means CPU is going to drain off the device battery. So in that case, there are possibility that the user who is using your application might give you a negative comment. Okay, so years ago, what happened? Developers worked to keep the size of the application small for mobile development. So we should pay close attention on how an application is coded and ensure that it doesn't use too much of power. That is what you have to tell for power consciousness. As a developer, you should make sure that the application what we are going to develop is not going to take too much of power and drain off the battery. Okay, so that is about the features of Apple. Okay. Next, we'll go into Apple devices. So, throughout the year, Apple has produced many different types of mobile devices, from iPod Classic to the iPhone. Apple has created great products, but it has not always opened this product for the developers to create apps or to modify them. So it is not so easy. That is, Apple has not given the complete freedom wherein the developer can create the app or to modify them. So, with respect to this particular chapter, we are just going to see about iPhone, iPod Touch, as well as iPod. Okay, although each of these devices runs on versions of iOS, so it's important that we keep in mind that older devices may not always be able to run on the latest version of iOS. So that thing we should make keep in mind. So anything which is developed, that is suppose first generation device, so we cannot say that it can run on the latest version of iPhone. So we cannot completely guarantee that. Okay. So just an example. You're working in a company and your company has given you a task of creating an app for the sales department of your company, just assume, and the entire team has an iPhone 3G. Okay, so you could take the advantage of the features of iOS 5.0, because these devices run only in iOS 4.2.1 and below that. Okay, so that thing we are going to say. So now we will come to the different that is Apple devices. The first one we are going to see is iPhone. So in 2007 it was introduced. The since 2007 iPhone has helped in the mobile boom, that is which is even currently on the way. Okay, the difficult part of this um it's the development of this iPhone in the year 2017. So it has become like a boom in the mobile industry. So even now it is going on. So, but it has given some difficulty in some sides of IT department, that is related to network issues, from the point of networking issues, and also from the development issues. So from the year 2017 to December 2011, there were five devices that has been released. So it is important to understand. So as a developer, it is important for us to understand the relationship between the iOS hardware as well as the software. That is what we want to say here is not all versions of iOS will run on all of iOS hardware. As the device's hardware become dated, okay, iOS stops releasing the updates. So here a table is given to you, that is iPhone hardware as well as iPhone versions. So this table shows iOS hardware with the versions of the iOS that is shipped with the device and the maximum version that can be installed on the device. So if you're saying iPhone 3G, maximum the iOS version what you can use is 4.2.1. So if you're saying iOS 5, then that won't work with iPhone 3G. So that is what we are saying here. Uh, we must understand the relationship between iOS hardware as well as software. That is, not all versions of iOS will run on all iOS hardware. That is about your iPhone. Next, we'll move on with the iPod, that is iPod Touch. Okay, so after the release of the original iPhone, Apple added a new product to the iPod product line, that is the iPod Touch. So this device was built on iPhone technology. It resembled, or you can say it is identical to the iPhone, and used the same 480 into 320 multi-touch screen, but it was not. But it is not a phone. It had a great option for the user who wanted the iPhone experience, but it did not want to pay the fee for the cell phone contract, because of its lack of cellular connectivity. This device could not access the internet only through, or you can say, this particular device, that is iPod Touch, could access the internet only through wireless internet connectivity. So right now what we are using in iPad, that is through the Wi-Fi, to the hotspot we are connecting, that was not there in iPod Touch. So it could connect to internet only through wireless internet connection. So here a table is given to you, that is iPod. That is, this particular table shows iOS hardware with the version of iOS that shipped with the device, and again the maximum version that can be installed on the device. So if we're saying second generation, that is iOS 2.1.1, if you're saying the maximum iOS version that is supporting is 4.2.1. Okay, and the last came the iPad, and the last device what we are going to speak is about iPad. So introduced in January 2010, iPad was another revolutionary product from the Apple. So when iPad was first released, many argued that it was just a big iPod Touch. So iPad, when it was released, so there was argument that is, it is just similar to iPod Touch. It is partially true. So we could purchase a cellular data plan so that the device could access data but not phone service. The same great user interface that made iPhone and iPod Touch famous was now available with a larger screen, that is with the bigger screen size, that is 1024 into 720 768 screen size. iPad pushed the mobile boom even more, with many industries saw the benefit that a computer could do. So, with two models containing different data storage as well as access to cellular data, iPad has become the leading. That is, it is leading the way in tablet computing. Again, we have a table that is given to us, which is telling us the iOS hardware with the version of iOS that is shipped along with the device, and also the maximum version that can be installed on the device. So here the versions that is shipped along with the iPad, that is given to you. Okay, so this is all about the Apple devices, wherein we are telling about iPhone, iPad Touch, and iPad. So compared to the last part was iPad, wherein you had the mobile connectivity and also the screen size also was larger. Okay, so next we'll move on with getting the tools we need. So what we are going to say here is, so we are planning to develop iOS application. So when you're planning to do that, what and all you require, that is what we are going to see here. So we are going to speak about the hardware and Xcode and iOS SDK. We're also going to speak about human interface guidelines. So all this we are going to see under getting the tools you need. Okay, so developing an iOS is not just a matter of opening a text editor and just typing some code. It's not just that. We may need to do some planning, with the first being the expensive one, that is the hardware. So first of all you have to plan all this and then only jump into writing the code. So depending on our development intention, we may need to pay to Apple for the honor of being an iOS developer. So we need to do some payment to Apple also as the honor of the iOS developer. So now we'll move on with the tools, the important tools to be acquired for iOS development, that is given below, that categories. The first one under that is hardware. So hardware. So to develop iPhone, iPod or iPad application, we must first have a Mac. So that is the main thing. The iPhone SDK runs only on the Mac OS X, so we need to have a Mac if you want to develop an application for iPhone. Okay, the only sanctioned hardware for iPhone, iPod, as well as iPod development is an Intel-based Macintosh machine. So that is what the first thing we are telling for hardware. So if you want to develop an application which should run in iPhone or iPad, then we need to have a Macintosh machine. Okay. Next comes the program level. Under this program level, you have iOS developer program, enterprise program, and university program. So these are the different programs that comes under the program level. So before that, what is this program level? So if we don't have an Apple developer account, first of all, what do we need to do is we have to create a free account. So that can be created by going to developer.apple.com. You can create an account. So having the Apple developer account allows us to create iOS application and run them locally on our machine using the iOS simulator. So to deploy the application, you have to create you have to have created a physical device that can be either iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch. So it should belong to the iOS developer program. So what is this iOS developer program? We will see. So this iOS developer program is a program level, or this program level allows the developer to distribute the app in the app store. So the developer can distribute his application in the app store either as an individual or a sole proprietor, or he can distribute it as a company or an organization or a government entity or an educational institution. So you have developed an app, you can distribute that app in the App Store either as an individual or a sole proprietary or as a company or as a government entity or an educational institution. So the cost for this program is $99 a year, and you're allowed to name 100 devices within your iOS development account. So that can be done. Next, you have the enterprise program. So when you're saying enterprise program, this program allows a developer to develop proprietary apps for internal distribution. So within a company, you want to distribute your application. So then you're having the enterprise program. Okay, wherein you're distributing your application internally, that is within your company or organization or a government entity or within your educational institution. You are distributing your application. So the cost for this particular program is $299 a year. So this level of program will not allow you to distribute the app through the app store, but allows ad hoc distribution, that is distribute directly to a device without using app store. Okay, so it allows you to distribute it to the devices in your organization. So for this, a valid data universal numbering system is required, that is valid, you can say it as done. Okay, DUN, that is nothing but data universal numbering, or Bradstreet duns, you can say, number is required. So this number, so this done is nothing but a unique 9 character number that is uniquely used to and identify your organization. It can be organization or your company or educational institution. Okay, so that is required, and this program level will take a bit longer to get enrolled in. So compared to your developer program, this taking some time. So this process takes well over a month before acceptance into the program. And the last program level is university program. So this program allows higher education institution to create teams of up to 200 developers that can develop iOS application. So you can have developers, or you around 200 developers who can develop a iOS application. So this program level is free and allows the program to be tested on physical devices, but it does not allow for ad hoc or application store deployment. Okay, so that is about your university program, wherein you are using around 200 developers to develop an application, and this is free and allows your program to be tested on the physical device. Next comes the iOS provisioning protocol. So under this, you're having this iOS provisioning protocol. So iOS Developer Center that allows you to create the files necessary to deploy, development, and distribution of your app that can be built onto the physical device. So that is the purpose of iOS Developer Center. So what does it do? It allows you to create the files which are required or which are necessary to deploy, as well, deploy, development, as well as distribution. Okay, that can be built on the physical device. So under this we have again subtopics. That is, first one we are going to speak is certificates. So see here, certificates. So this is a provisional portal certificate. So certificate, what do you mean by certificate? So during the development process of your iOS app, so we will more than likely to create both the development as well as distribution certificate. So these the certificates are used digitally sign the app and verify you are who you are saying. So suppose you are saying that you are XYZ. So to verify that you are the same person, for that you are using the certificate. So this is nothing but iOS provisional portal certificate to verify the authenticity of the developer, you can say that you have the certificate. Next one comes the app ID. Okay, next is the app ID. So each iOS application that you create, or that which one you intend to deploy to a device, needs to be identified on the app ID section. Okay, so which application the which you have created, or which you want, which are willing to deploy on the device, needs to be identified by an app ID section of the iOS provisioning portal. The app ID that is created is a unique ID that contains a number from the Apple and then a bundle of identifier Okay, so this app id is nothing but just a number. Okay, uh, from which is provided by the Apple, and then a bundle identifier that you specify. The bundle identifier means it is usually in the format .com, that is com dot company name dot app name. Okay, so it will be usually in that particular format, that is com dot company name. You can see here this particular thing is shaded here. So com dot company name, okay, followed by app name. So here app name is not visible, com dot company name and app name. So as you start to develop more application, they tend to become more messy in this interface, because here you can see here, as more and more number of applications are developed, more number of details are being added into this iOS provisioning protocol within your wherein you have the app IDs. The next one you have is about the devices. Okay, the devices section in the iOS protocol section allows a developer to maintain the list of devices. You can see here. So it allows you to maintain the list of devices in which the iOS application will be developed. So the here in this case, the iOS application that is developed, it can and it can be developed in iPhone 4G or Emilia's iPhone 4G. So these are nothing but what you have to say for devices. That is iOS provisioning protocol. In that you're going to have the device section. So the device section of this iOS provisioning protocol allows the developer to maintain a list of devices in which the iOS application will be developed. So these are the devices that are either used for testing your app or for ad hoc development. It can be used either for testing or for ad hoc deployments. The number of devices that you can register on the screen relates to the type of the app Apple developer account level you have selected. So, for example, if you have registered at the iOS developer level, so you'll be able to add 100 devices. So this number is 100 per year. Okay. So meaning if you add 100 devices and then delete 10, then you are still out of space for the account until you re-enroll in the program the following year. So we said in the previous section we said 299 per $299 per year. So that is what we are saying. Per year it will be only 100 devices you can add. Okay, so that is the thing what you have to tell for devices. And the next thing you have is provisioning profile. Okay, provisioning profile. So after the certificate, the app id and the devices have been created and added, now you can create a provisioning profile. So the provisioning profile combine the information about which app or certificates can be installed on which devices. So profile or the provisioning profile is going to tell us, or it is going to give us the information, or you can also say combine the information about which app or certificate can be installed on which device. So as with the certificate, there will be a development as well as distribution versions. So that is about the provisioning profile. Next, we will be speaking about Xcode and iOS SDK. So to create the native iOS application, you need to install both Xcode IDE as well as iOS SDK. Although you can obtain Xcode by using App Store with Mac OS, downloading Xcode and the SDK from the download section of the iOS Development Center. So how you can install, that is the installation part. So these are the different development tool and this is the startup screen. So with respect to installation, after you have followed the steps to install Xcode, You should have the Xcode IDE as well as a great deal of other useful development tools that are installed with developer.application. So that is what the tools that were shown here. Then you can start the Xcode from this directory or by using Spotlight. So you can just start from here. So next comes the different components. So the different components of the iPhone SDK includes a great number of tools that help create iOS app for apps. These tools range from debugging and profiling to developing. So here you can see the different common tools that we use included in iOS SDK. So the first one is Xcode. Xcode is Apple's integrated development environment for creating Objective-C applications. So this Xcode enables you to manage, write, debug your Objective-C project. Next one you have is Dashcode. Dashcode is an IDE that enables you to develop web-based iPhone as well as iPad application and dashboard widgets. Then comes the iPhone simulator. So this tool provides a method to simulate an iPhone as well as iPad device on your Mac. This can be used for testing your iOS application. Next, you have the interface builder. The interface builder, or you can also call it as IB, is a visual editor that is used for designing the user interface for your iOS application. And the last component you have is instruments. So instruments is a suite of tools that help you analyze your iOS application and monitor the performance or whether there is any bottleneck situation as well as memory leaks in real time while attached to iOS device or iOS simulator. So all this will be monitored by this instruments. And the last one under this you have is iOS Human Interface Guideline. So the iOS Human Interface Guideline is a or HIG document is one of the most valuable tool in iOS developer. Okay, most valuable tool to the iOS developer, you can say. So this describes guidelines and principles that help the iOS developer design a superlative user interface and user experience. So it is very important for new iOS developer to read through this document. If you do not develop using the according to what is told in this guideline, then there are possibility that your application will be rejected when submitted to the app store. Okay, so before you actually go into the development, you have to read this document, that is you can also call it as HIG document. So this document is available. So this document is available to us in this particular path, that is developer Apple and library iOS and documentation experience. So this particular path you are having the HIG document, which is a must for the developer to read before actually developing the application. Okay, with the Xcode IDE and iOS SDK installed, now you can examine what exactly makes up an iOS project with respect to files and code. So this is all about the today's session. Thank you all.